What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 13 of the Hookshot Podcast. If you're new to these episodes, yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
My name's Lucas Cohen. What's your name, buddy?
Rohan Borges. You know me by now. What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah, you know both of us. Come on, stop playing. Today we got a lot to talk about. UFC 291, man. We're not going to talk basketball today. It's just going to be UFC, but because, man, can we agree? Is this the biggest card of the year?
This
Or
has to be. It has to be, bro. It has to
imagine
be.
if
There's
that,
no question.
imagine if that Paulo Costa fight was still on the card. Imagine.
I can, man. But hey. Let's not get too spoiled now. This card is just like
Oh
top
no,
to
still
bottom, bro. On
incredible.
the
Still incredible
prelims, the prelims could be a fight night card, really.
for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm too excited. Too excited.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Before we get into it, sorry, we're on Zoom right now. Rohan and I
Yeah.
are away. As you can see, I'm at a green screen studio, so this is definitely not where we record. And where are you, Rohan? One of the people?
I'm down in Miami visiting family. My brother's going to. Well, actually, I'm part of this too, but we're going to do a little tour of the lawyer's office tomorrow, so that'll be cool. And then just here to chill out, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the vibe. So yeah,
How
excited.
long are you there for?
I'm here for 5 days, so I'm coming back on the 2nd of August. So yeah, get a little
Hey,
close to
hey,
the month.
hey, I got some friends down there. If you need anything,
Yeah, for sure, for
I,
sure.
I got you.
If I got some free time, I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, here we are, UFC 291, biggest card of the year, as we just both agreed on.
Yeah.
But saying that, while there's zero championship fights on the card, so the main event, Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, what are your thoughts on the BMF title being handed down to these guys and then being able to fight for it at a new division?
Honestly, I don't mind it. I think that the whole BMF thing is a little childish and cheesy and whatnot. I get that, but I feel like if you're going to have it as a fight and you're going to crown somebody the baddest MFer on the planet, then these are the two guys. In my opinion, these are the two guys that I would want to see fight or battle it out for that title. Because I mean, when you think of baddest MF, I mean, there's not many other guys that come to mind than Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. So I don't mind the fight. I think would I like rather than do away with the whole thing and just go back to how it was? Probably. But if they're gonna keep it like this, I don't mind it. It's fine. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm excited for this BMF title, and I'm still looking at it as a title fight, obviously. But I feel like there are a couple of people. Obviously, Poirier and Gaethje were the best selection for the BMF title, but I feel like
Yeah.
guys like Kevin Holland, who fought like
Yeah, a
five
lot of people,
years.
yeah, of course. He's an obvious choice. But bro, like the energy in that building when I mean, I don't know if they're gonna have anybody special coming out to present the belt like they did back in
Masvidal, Jorge
when
Masvidal.
when they had The Rock do it. Oh, it's gonna be Masvidal for sure.
Yep, yep. He's
Oh,
right.
okay. Well, I mean, this is in Utah, right? So I don't know how much the fans
Yeah,
will go
that
crazy for
is.
Jorge.
I like that. I like that for the BMF title fight because, man, that's high altitude. So we're really
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
see
yeah,
who's
yeah.
the real
Testing, putting this to the
BMF.
test.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we'll get into this a little later when we talk main event, but Gaethje might have a little advantage just given that he trains up at Colorado and is used to the elevation and the oxygen levels up there. So that's something to watch out for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Poirier is near where you are right now, down
Yeah,
in
yeah, 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 yeah.
Florida, Coconut Creek. But we don't gotta wait a little bit to talk this main event. We don't gotta wait a little bit to talk the
Yeah,
next.
let's get
Let's
into
do it
it.
right
Let's get
now.
right
Let's do it
into it.
right now. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, number two. For those that don't know, they fought one time. When was that? Back in 2017, 2018, when it
Yeah,
was
bro. But this was when they were still under Fox. I wasn't even a UFC fan at the time,
me neither.
and that sucks. I had to rewatch that. I had to go back and watch it when I started to get into it. But man, that was such a war. Such a
Yeah.
war.
Yeah. But Poirier got it done. Got the
Yeah.
finish in round four. However, man, Justin Gaethje's fighting completely different as he did in the beginning of his UFC career. He was always balls to the wall, looking to make that extra $50,000.
Yeah.
Man, now he's fighting calculated. It seems obviously that power is still there. Just the kicks, the thunderous kicks. I mean, not only did he tear Poirier's quad in the first fight, I think it was, despite
Mm-hmm.
losing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those kicks are still
The calf
there.
kicks were giving him issues, man. Poirier, I don't know how he was eating those
Well,
at
I don't
the
think they were
third, fourth
calf
round.
kicks. I don't think they were calf kicks. He was just destroying his quad, like his upper
Oh,
leg,
gotcha.
which is why I
Yeah.
think he was actually able to fight through. If he
Yeah.
was slamming the calf kick, his leg probably would have just shut down. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, man, we know this guy is brutal with every single shot he throws. And man, as I just said, and I'll give you my prediction right here, right now. I think that this is a different fighter in Justin Gaethje. I really
Yeah.
do. But still, man, this is a 50-50 fight in my eyes. Like I believe Poirier is obviously favored by the fans. I saw they did a poll on First Take that Poirier is 72% voted by the fans to win the fight.
Wow.
Gaethje 28%.
Hmm.
Odds don't exactly represent that, but I believe Poirier is sitting around minus 150 right now. Man, I think this should be minus 110, minus 110 fight right down the middle.
Yeah.
And I do think it's going to be a decision. I think it's possibly a split decision with a bunch of rounds that we're not going to be able to score. We're just going to be enjoying, and I feel like the
Yeah.
judges will get caught up in that as well. But man, I'm going to give the overall damage by the slightest bit to Justin Gaethje. So give me Justin Gaethje by decision, specifically a split decision. What do you think?
Wow. Yeah. I could definitely see this coming down to a split, just given how evenly matched both of these guys are. I mean, like, we're not going to see any wrestling exchanges, man. There's going to be tit for tat, back and forth, and it's going to be a war of attrition. You know, like in the first fight, rewatching it because it's been on TV. I mean, it's hard to not rewatch that fight this week. But Dustin, to your point, he had to, fight through those leg kicks. He was getting torn apart by those leg kicks, but Gaethje kind of got sloppy in the fourth round. His cardio again was an issue in the later rounds, and Poirier just connected with a flush left hand, and his ability to just keep his cool and not get too flustered. We've seen it in fights against Dan Hooker, for example, where he's almost been out of there. We've seen Dustin like literally on the brink of being finished, but he never really loses that composure. He's always got himself to lean on, and I think that in this fight. It's gonna be close, bro. Like I just can't see either fighter really destroying the other guy. Like just because of they fight so similar, they have such a similar style of fighting. And on the Justin Gaethje side, he likes to call what you were explaining the evolution of Justin and how he's kind of toned it back on the power and focused a little more on honing in, on the technical side of things. And he likes to call it controlled chaos, right? Like he says that's what Trevor Whitman preaches.
Perfect way to put it. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be, that's always the recipe for Justin to have a really successful fight, is for him to understand how much he's exerting, how much power he's actually, putting on these punches, and just conserving that energy for the later rounds so that he doesn't gas out and that he has the clean striking, all the way through the fight. So I think that this will be a really, really, really close fight. And
right? Yep.
I just have to give the decision to Dustin Poirier. I've seen this dude on the brink of adversity so many times and just, pull himself out of the fire. And even in that Max Holloway fight, dude, there was some exchanges and he largely won those exchanges. But, Max Holloway, nobody beats Max Holloway. Other than Alex, of course. But back in the day, nobody was doing that to Max. And Dustin's just different, man. He just taps into this, when he pulls up there's that meme when he pulls up the shorts, it's time. He means business. So
time to lock in, yeah.
Yeah, man. Dustin, he is just a G, man. I think it comes down to a split as well, but I'm going to give it to Dustin.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and I agree. I feel like this all boils down to what I just said when I was breaking down the fight. We're gonna be enjoying these rounds, man. I feel like it's gonna be really, really, really hard to score, which is why I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Poirier ends up getting the decision. And in the premium Discord, I just did a write up on why I like the split decision prop for this fight. And for you guys watching the podcast, here's a little free bet for you guys as well. It's sitting at plus 500 for such a close fight. I mean, I think maybe plus 600 wasn't. I think it was plus 600. I feel like that's a steal, man, because these are going to be great, fun rounds, and there's going to be offense and defense from both of these fighters. But back to who I think is going to win the fight, I just have to go Gaethje because of the level of competition in both of their last. And there's something about me. There's something going on in my head telling me that, man, that performance against Rafael Fiziev, that's the best striker in the division. That's a guy in his prime, 30 years of age, who's won many tough fights. And Gaethje just hung in there, stood right in front of him and beat him. And I don't feel like it was a robbery as well. He beat him.
No, he beat him. Because I was pulling for Fiziev in that fight and he did not. He lost. Yeah.
I'm just really impressed. Poirier, he had trouble with Chandler early on, but I feel like everyone has trouble with Chandler just because of that power. He was able to submit him in round 3. Thankfully for him, Chandler gassed out from those bombs. But man, I think Gaethje, he's been through the fire more recently than Poirier, and maybe that's a bad thing when it comes to damage and whatnot. But
Both of these guys are so tough. It's just such an evenly matched fight. But I will say on the ground side of things, when we were at that fight with the Poirier Chandler fight, Poirier was really he had no hesitation, and once he saw a sliver of daylight and he saw that he had Chandler hurt, he did not hesitate to jump on his back and finish that fight by submission. So I think we're these guys are gonna get hurt. There's gonna be a time where Justin Gaethje's rocked. There's gonna be a time where Dustin's rocked
Facts,
for
facts,
sure.
big
So
facts.
I wonder if Dustin's more willingnness to take the fight to the ground and just jump on the first submission that he sees may play into his favor a little bit more against Justin. But Justin is again he's such a hard guy to take down, and he has great wrestling credentials himself. So I don't think that either fighter will have that big of an advantage if the fight were to hit the ground. But I don't know. That's another thing to look out for. If Dustin gets him hurt against the cage, is he going to try to put the pressure and exhaust himself, trying to knock him out with a TKO, which we've seen Justin survive before, or does he try to pull him out to the ground and try to finish it down there? So I don't know. I just see more past the victory for Dustin, and I just like. I don't know, man. It's such an evenly matched fight, and I'm just so excited because, like you said, bro, nobody's gonna be scoring this fight when we're watching it. We're just gonna be enjoying the chaos. So it's gonna be a war for
All
sure.
right, well, he's going Poirier by decision. I'm going
Yeah.
Gaethje by decision. But yeah, we can both agree this is going to be an absolute banger. But man, this isn't the
Hmm.
only team. We're not going to be
No, man, we're not
hard
done.
waiting for the main event because this co-main event is arguably, yes, I said arguably more exciting than the main event, just because Alex Pereira has really, captured the eye of all mixed martial arts fans and even
Yeah,
just fans in general. This guy, I mean, sports fans in general. This guy is an absolute killer in that octagon, and he will just run through you and look like he's throwing his strikes at 10%. It's absolutely ridiculous. This guy is
yeah,
mind-boggling. But stylistically, this matchup against Jan Blachowicz is super interesting because let's take it back to that Adesanya versus Pereira first fight. Israel Adesanya scored his first ever takedown
yeah,
against Alex Pereira and had a lot of control time as well. Man, we're gonna need to see some real evolution of Alex Pereira's takedown defense and back game at the age
yeah,
of 36. At the age of 36, but I know the age of 36 sounds crazy, but man, if there's someone to do it, it's this guy who's an absolute monster coming back 2 months later after a knockout, looking completely fine, looking great, looking fast as ever, coming up 20 pounds. Man, I'm I don't know. There's something in the back of my head telling me he's gonna make the right adjustment somehow and win this fight. But another fight that's just it's so hard to call, and I'm
yeah.
just gonna have to go Jan Blachowicz because I don't see Pereira making those adjustments that fast. So give me a Jan Blachowicz 3-round
Yeah.
decision in this fight. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really finding it like just like you, bro. I'm finding it hard to see a way Alex gets up off the mat if he is square on his back at any point in this fight. If Jan is able to pressure him, and Jan's striking, guys, I need everybody to really respect the man striking. Even against Glover, it wasn't the best, and he
Yep.
got subbed. But
That was an
the
off night,
dude,
I think. I think that was an off night.
yeah, I would agree. And then look at his more recent fights against Rakic. That was a little bit of a weird one. Obviously, Rakic got hurt in that one, but I wouldn't have scored that fight for Jan up until that injury. And then more recently against Ankalaev, I would have scored that for Ankalaev. So I haven't been the most impressed with Jan in his last few fights. And Alex is a much better striker than any of those guys that he's faced recently. So on the feet, he's going to have his work cut out for him. But it's just that, we saw what he did to Izzy, and I really can't get those images out of my mind as a huge Izzy fan, who assumed that Izzy would probably have an easy time with Jan, and that was a bad assumption looking back on it. But, you know, Jan won in the striking department, and then once he got it to the ground, dude, Izzy had no idea what to do. He was a fish out of water, and I'm just worried that that's going to
I
be
mean,
the exact
Alex. I
same
mean,
thing with
Alex.
Alex. Exactly, who has even less experience, less takedown defense than Izzy, who has one of the better, takedown defenses in the middleweight division. I just don't, like if this fight hits the ground and Jan gets on top mount or something like that. Like, how is Alex coming back from that?
Yeah.
It's just tough to pick him. But it's a dead even money line right now. It's I think, or last time I checked, it was like -115,
Yeah.
-115. So
Yeah.
if it's on the feet and he's able to, keep himself off the ground, then he's got the advantage. But it's just,
And
I don't
yeah.
know, man. I don't
Yeah.
think he'll be able to.
And that's all, like, honestly, that's all there is in this fight. Like, does
Yeah,
Pereira actually? That's not true. As we were just talking about, does Pereira make the adjustments? However, Blahovic in recent interviews is saying he's going to stand and trade with Pereira.
really. I
Like,
haven't seen that.
yeah, I think he said in like 2 or 3 interviews that he's willing to, stand with Pereira. If that happens,
Yeah,
let's say now let me break this down to you. If that happens, right? They're standing for 15 minutes, right? The first thing you'd think is, oh, Pereira's gonna shit on this guy. But he's coming off 2 months off a KO.
yeah.
It's super interesting. So if for some reason we do see a striking fight, how do you see that playing out?
Listen, so I think Jan's striking is a little it's under the radar obviously he's not fought the murderers row of strikers that like Izzy has, and Alex is an acclaimed kickboxing champion. So his striking is not on that level, but he finds ways to just mess with you, right? His
Yes.
movement, his
Yep.
his kicks, the timing of his body kicks. He loves that left body kick, loves that technique, and that really slowed Izzy down in the first fight. His timing is just really good. He's got a solid jab, of course. And he's gonna bank on that legendary Polish power because we've seen it work before, bro. He obliterated Dominic Reyes. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
Obliterated that man.
Yep.
When he lands, and if he lands flush, you gotta watch out. And Alex is very chinny, as we just saw. Obviously, the weight cut not being as much might play into that, or might benefit him a little bit more.
Yep.
But we've seen him get caught, bro. We saw it in his last fight. He got put to sleep. So if Jan, a bigger dude like that, connects, then I could see his lights being shut out. But I just think Alex's distance management and the way he, like even against Izzy, man, the kicks that hit the speed at which he is able to get his legs off the ground, it doesn't even make any sense. So I think with the right game plan going in there on the feet, he should have the advantage. But don't sleep on Jan, bro, because the power is something real, and he's very sneaky in his own way too.
Final prediction for the fight. Tell me quickly. I'm going Jan Blachowicz by decision, but I don't know. I'm just gonna enjoy it. How about you?
I'm gonna go Jan Błachowicz, third round TKO on the ground. I think he finishes the
Wow.
fight on the ground in the third round because I think by that time I could see the altitude start to affect Alex a little bit if especially if he's having to deal with a lot of those clinch exchanges where he's having to fight his way off the cage and keep him away. By that third round, if that fatigue starts to set in and Jan gets him and holds him down, I could definitely see a late finish. So I'll go round three.
Interesting. I like that prediction. It's very bold, but it makes a lot of sense at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about another exciting fight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson taking on Michel Pereira, and this is a fight in which I'll tell you, this is up to Michel Pereira if he wants to win this fight or not. If he wants to wrestle, if he wants to take this guy Wonderboy down, who got taken down by Kevin Holland at will. If
Yeah.
Pereira wants to fight smart, he will win this fight. But we're talking about Michel Pereira, the guy who does backflips in the octagon, who jumps off the top of the cage, who does crazy, outlandish shit. Is he? Now think about this, Rohan. I don't know if you've thought about this or not. He's in a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pay-per-view slot, right next to the co-main event. Is he going to stand and put on one of the best striking fights of all time against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in front of that pay-per-view crowd, stacked Salt Lake City crowd? Or is he going to fight smart and get the job done? And before you answer, remember who we're thinking about, Michel Pereira. This guy's a psychopath. What do you think?
He is a psycho. Do you think that he will at any point in this fight look to take it to the ground? Because I think he should, and I think you would agree that he should.
Bro, I don't. It's just up to him. We don't know. We can't read his mind. But
Yeah, the guy
I,
is just a maniac,
I'm
man.
gonna go. Yeah, he'll probably do it. Yeah, once maybe he might shoot for a takedown. I don't know, bro. I don't even know.
It's his style of fighting is just it's literally insanity. But I hope he comes in here with a little more of a serious attitude because, dude, he's physically gifted as hell. I mean, the dude has like his reach is insane. His leg kicks are insane. His all of his kicks are insane. He has cartwheel kicks, every kick in the repertoire. But if he uses it correctly and doesn't expend as much energy as he's doing the flying techniques like he loves to do, then I could definitely see him getting the job done because Stephen Thompson, I mean, at this point in his career, a title shot is not in his future.
Yeah,
So what is he?
fun
He's
fights.
yeah, it's fun fights, and I think he's gonna entertain this, but he's gonna bring his A game, and he's gonna try to keep this standing, keep it on the feet. But I definitely do not see Stephen Thompson finishing Michel Pereira. I could definitely see him winning a decision and it being not that close because Pereira is lost and getting caught by shots that he's just could easily avoid just because he's doing stupid shit. Um, but I don't know, man. I think that the safest pick here is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, just because of the cleaner technique on the feet, obviously. And you never know. To your
The
point with
cardio,
Michelle
man.
Pereira, you never know which Michelle. Yeah, yeah,
Cardio is going to be an issue for Pereira. And yeah, as you were
yeah.
saying, sorry for cutting you off, but yeah, we don't know which Michelle Pereira is going to show up. And
Hmm.
if that crazy Pereira shows up and wants to stand and bang with Wonderboy, Wonderboy is 100% winning this fight because
Yeah,
Pereira does not have the best cardio, especially at altitude, especially with those big movements. But
yeah.
man, I cannot stress it enough. This fight is all up to Michelle Pereira. If he wants to fight smart,
Agreed.
he'll win. If he doesn't, he loses. It's as simple as that. And I think that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
He stands, goes crazy. Give me Stephen Wonderboy Thompson by decision again. What do you think?
yeah. I'd give him the win by decision as well. I think that's the safest pick for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Tony Ferguson taking on Bobby Green. Interesting, man. I've been really, really confident on Bobby Green these past couple of weeks, but if Tony takes this seriously, Bobby Green didn't look incredible leading up to that finish against Jared Gordon, that headbutt. He did look a little bit slower. I can't lie. He did. He did. Do we see the Bobby Green we saw before he got KO'd against Drew Dober? If we do, he wins the fight. If not, it might be close. But all in all, I just can't get that picture of Tony Ferguson getting absolutely shit on by Nate Diaz, by Nate fucking Diaz, not even fighting that guillotine choke. I can't get that out of my head. But
Yeah,
so another safe pick for me here, or the first safe pick for me here is going to be Bobby Green, just because I'm just relying on Tony coming in and looking absolutely horrible. What do you think?
yeah. I got Bobby all day, man. Tony Ferguson is 0-5 in his last 5 fights, and he's looked progressively worse in each one. So I just don't see him beating Bobby Green, bro. It's just like that Nate Diaz fight was embarrassing. It was
And I want
embarrassing.
him to win. Don't get me wrong. I want Tony to win. This guy's on a
Yeah,
five
me
fight
too,
losing
man.
streak. Yeah.
He's a legend, bro. We need him back in the win column, but I just like, dude, it's a downward spot. This is one of the worst fall offs I've ever seen in the sport. He was one in the rankings just 2 years ago, and yeah, I don't see him winning this fight at all. We saw against Nate Diaz, the ground game is really not where it was, not where it was. But Neil was controlling him on the ground. Charles did whatever he wanted to him on the ground. He has not had much success there. So, and then on the feet, it's just, dude, he doesn't have it anymore. He's washed. It is what it is. So,
One thing to keep in
yeah, I
mind
got
is
Bobby.
he is going down from 170 to 155. He did fight Nate Diaz at
True.
170, which is not his natural weight class. I
Where did
don't
he
really
fight Chandler at? Do you know?
155. Yeah,
Okay,
like
so
I don't know if it'll
yeah, and
make a
that was
difference.
a brutal knockout too. Oh man.
Yeah, that really sucked
Oh my God, that front kick to the face. If you guys haven't seen that knockout, go look that up because that was bad. But yeah, man, Tony, I would be shocked if he won this fight. That's what I'll say. And I don't know what the age gap is between these two. It's not that much, is it? Because Bobby's pretty old,
Bobby's
right?
like
He's like,
36, I think.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So it's not that big of a difference. It's just that Tony's taken so much damage recently as well, and yeah, he's not winning this. I really can't see it.
Final prediction. I'm debating between a round 3 TKO for Bobby Green or a decision. But once again, I'm gonna go Bobby Green decision. How about
I'm
you?
gonna go Bobby Green decision because when Bobby gets in the zone and he starts to talk to you and he starts to feel himself and he doesn't really look for the finish, he just looks to toy with you. And I could see that playing out in this fight where he's just having his way, kind of cruising through the first 2 rounds. In the third round, he's just letting himself go a little bit. So yeah, I could see a Bobby Green easy decision win. That's my prediction.
Gotcha. The only other fight on the main card is Kevin Holland taking on Michael Chiesa.
That's a good one. I like it.
And it's tough. This is another tough fight to call because, man, Kevin Holland, the thing is, he did get ragdolled, absolutely ragdolled by Derek Brunson and Marvin Vittori.
Yeah,
Those are guys who in camp, they're weighing 210 pounds and probably
exactly,
doing that fight
exactly.
weight. Michael
Yeah.
Chiesa is not doing that, man. He's probably
Hmm.
walking around about 195, 190.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Kevin Holland could really impress, really be clean off his back, be very spastic, and hit Chiesa with the harder shots. I think Kevin Holland could win this fight. What do you think?
I agree 100%. I'm look because it's been a while. I feel like since
Yeah.
Kiesa's fought, bro. It's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely see Kevin Holland having this is a good fight for him. I would say, because like to your point, he's not dealing with those middleweights and that are coming down from 200 pounds like Vettori, who are easily going to have a size advantage, and it's going to be tough for you to fight that off. But on the feet, Kevin Holland, I think, has the advantage in this fight 100%. So, if he's able to keep it standing, I could definitely see him, catching Chiesa maybe with something on his way in, because Chiesa will be looking to take the fight to the ground. But to your point, Kevin Holland is a great jiu-jitsu guy as well. Do not sleep on that. He has submissions of his own. But the altitude, again, is something, maybe not to worry about, because Kevin Holland has decent cardio and so does Chiesa. But I just think that, if Chiesa is looking for a lot of those wrestling exchanges against the fence and trying to wear himself out, he could, hurt himself in later rounds. But I do think that this is a good spot for Kevin Holland. So I think I'll pick him by decision, or I could definitely see him getting a late finish as well. But I'm gonna say Kevin Holland by decision.
Yeah. That leads me right into it. I'm gonna go my first non-decision. Give me Kevin Holland by KO. I think this guy knocked out Santiago Ponzinibbio with a broken right hand. Pretty much that entire fight.
Bro. I forgot
Remember
about
that we
that.
watched that together, right?
Yeah.
That entire fight with his left hand, and I was telling you the
Yeah.
entire time, I'm like, bro, his right hand's hurt. His right hand's hurt. As soon as he got the KO, I think he went over to like the commentators and was like, "Yeah, I broke my right hand." I think if we see a fully healthy Kevin Holland, he can get a finish in this fight. So, final prediction for you? You said Kevin Holland decision.
Yeah, I'll go decision. I'll go decision.
Fair enough. One more fight we'll talk about just because the name, Derek Lewis taking on Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of top 5 fighters in the UFC for me. One of them is Lewis. Guys, so
everybody's favorite, man.
He's so exciting, but only when he wins, man. And if he's taking a big step down in competition, going from fighting guys like Sergey Spivak, Curtis Blades, who he did KO.
Yeah, but that was a while ago now.
But the losses, Sergey Pavlovich as well, Cyril Gahn, and now Taito Ivasa, and now he's going down to Marcos Rogerio de Lima. However, de Lima he can win this fight. I don't know if you know too much.
I do. I've seen all his fights. He's been one heavyweight that I am very impressed with. And dude, this is not a good spot for Derek Lewis. I don't know, I don't know how many good fights there are left for Derek Lewis in the heavyweight division that he would be favored in, because I don't think, what is the odds on this? He can't be. It should be even or something.
It opened at about even. I actually think Lewis was like a very slight favorite, but now de Lima's at like minus 200. It's flipped.
Yeah, so that means a lot of people. Yeah, I Derek Lewis, man, it's just that style of his that's just prodding and waiting, and then exploding. I don't know if that'll work, because Rogerio de Lima loves to leg kick. He loves the leg kick. And Lewis does not like to get leg kicked at all. And this is a 3-round fight at altitude. Yep. Derek Lewis is going to need to find that one shot. But even in these clinch exchanges against the fence, against Tuivasa, nobody would have thought he would have got slept that bad. So I wonder if his chin is starting to deteriorate even more. And he really hasn't looked good in his last few fights. So it pains me to say this, but I'm going to go de Lima, and I'm going to say finish. I'm going to say first round finish. Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to go de Lima's second round finish. Man, de Lima's got some great leg kicks as well. That's something we didn't mention. Derek Lewis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He really struggles with leg kicks as well. I think
exactly.
Despite Lewis taking a big step down in competition, I think de Lima has all the tools to win this fight. I'm going to go de Lima by a second round finish. But
I got him round 1. Same thing. It sucks, but Derek is he's past his prime. I think this might be his last fight. I wouldn't be shocked if he retired after this, honestly. But I do want to see him fight in Houston one more time. He got to end on a win. Derek is one of those guys that end on a win, right?
I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for him. Derek Lewis lost all of those fights in Houston. But that's all we really got. That's all we really got today, folks. There's some other very exciting fights. Gabriel Bonfim. I don't know if you know too much about him.
I saw. Yeah, him and his brother are nasty, but him, he's gonna get.
I think we had some money on him before, right?
Yeah. He's nasty.
14-0 prospect. I think he'll get the job done, and a bunch of other just exciting fun fights on the card. But anything else you want to mention?
Nah, man, I'm just looking forward to it, bro. I can't wait. This is gonna be the card of the year. We can't be let down because of how many good fights there are. Even if one's bad, then the next one will get it back on track. I'm just so excited, man. Can't wait.
Not only one of the best cards of the year, but one of the best betting cards of the year. We're going to make some money as well, right?
Facts, for sure. Sign up for the Discord if y'all haven't.
45% off. Click the link in our bio. That's all we got. for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdowns. Let us know in the comment section. Do you agree with our picks, or are you looking at these fights from a different standpoint? Let us know. Signing off, it's been Lucas and Rohan for the Hookshot Podcast. Deuces.
Peace.